So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. And now, for the review of the day. Here's a review from September 6th on iTunes from Lil Big D18. What's up, Lil Big? This podcast is one of my main drivers of success. I listen to several episodes a week and pull out the most meat and potatoes from each one. I find my business being guided by the lessons I learned in the Rockstars podcast. This is my first year, and I'm on track to close 30-plus deals. Thank you, Pat, for providing me and the real estate community with such valuable content. Lil Big D18. Thank you, Lil Big. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast, so give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. Okay, Rockstar Nation, I have a great guest today. I got Mr. Travis Thom on the show, and Travis used to be a massive real estate agent out of New Mexico, and he is turned all of his focuses in another direction now, helping real estate agents make more and more commissions. And I wanted to get him on because there is technology coming down the pike. It's actually existing. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's a massive game changer, and that's just not a cliche either, with how real estate agents are going to be able to make money in the future and ways to assertively reach out to your sphere of influence. So without further ado, Mr. Travis, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thank you, Pat. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on today.
All right. So, hey, Travis, why don't you give everybody a little rundown on yourself so they can get to know you better?
Certainly. I started in real estate when I was 19 years old. I grew up in a real estate family, and I knew that I wanted to be in real estate. It was in the blood. So early on, I had started out, really kind of doing all the key basic things: door knocking, cold calling, all the things that everyone told me to do. My first couple of years really struggled through it, but then I started getting into internet marketing. And by the time I was around 21, I became a qualifying broker, started my own company, and started focusing on running lead generation style campaigns for condo developments, townhouse developments. And that really became my niche. I grew it over time. Over the course of my career, I had around 271 listings. At the top of my game, became a Realtor Magazine top 30 under 30 finalist, and we grew in about 3 different companies. During that time, one of the most successful things that we did was create these online lead generation campaigns and then Facebook ads. Really just kind of fell into it by trial and error. And eventually that became really kind of our specialty, is running those lead generation campaigns for our listings, for developments, getting buyers. And then we grew a software as a service company out of that, and then eventually got into Facebook, to where I'm a Facebook advertising strategist.
Wow. Okay. Well, you certainly know the game, and you certainly know, obviously, now the Facebook and how it can relate to real estate agents. I think, the biggest thing I want to talk to you about, because, we've had a lot of people come on and give strategies on Facebook, and, I don't want to repeat strategies that people have already given. I really want to talk to you about Facebook Messenger, because from what I understand, the levee's about to bust, and, all of a sudden Facebook Messenger is going to be a portal that other people can access that may not necessarily be like real close to you, right? And that can, it'll start eventually. And when I say eventually, I mean, who knows how many years down the road, replace emails and or texting and or any other way you want to communicate. So let's talk a little bit about this. Tell me what's on the front, what's going to happen soon, how people are using it now, and how real estate agents can use it now.
Great question. So Facebook Messenger is a platform that has a little over 1 billion people on it right now.
Wow.
So yeah, and so that kind of, first kind of gives you an indication of how many people are really using it.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me because they annoy the hell out of you if you don't have it until you get it.
It's so true. Well, it was designed as a separate platform for several reasons, and it's was supposed to be kind of the email killer, but it's a hybrid of email, text messaging, all in its own separate platform. But one of the things why we love Facebook Messenger is the versatility of being able to build Facebook Messenger bots. And there's this kind of argument and war between marketers of, is email marketing better, is landing pages better, or Facebook lead ads, right? They're like little mini landing pages inside of Facebook, or Facebook Messenger bots. And so we've spent several $1,000s in different types of audiences testing each different one, and we've seen Facebook Messenger really have a higher conversion rate to being able to engage people in a conversation. And what I mean by bot, if people really aren't, if they don't necessarily know what that means, is so you can create a simulated conversation that's basically a little programmable bot, a robot that answers questions for you, and you really kind of pre-set this conversation up. So let's say, for example, there's an ad that you're running, and the ad says, get your list of 25 homes that you can buy with only $7,000 down in X city, right? They click on that ad, and it sends them directly into Facebook Messenger, and then you've programmed the bot to really just pop up and say, hey, first name, say, hey, Pat, thanks so much for asking for this list. Here's the actual list that we mentioned of all the homes. And it just populates it for you. It's some sort of hyperlink. They can click on it, and it takes them to that page. Or then it has like the little bubbles that type up, and it says, quick question, are you looking for homes in the Austin area? And it might say, it has two little things, yes or no, right? Two little pre-populated kind of buttons they can click on. And they might say, yes. That's great news. Well, is there a type of home that you're looking for? Single family, condo, and it has those little buttons, right? Single family, condo. They click on condo. Perfect. We love condos, and it kind of goes into those types of things. So that conversation is like a little mini sales funnel, right? Where you're asking these questions. You already have the conversation pre-written down. It's just a decision branch tree of, if they answer this question, deliver this message.
I like that word, decision branch tree. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a ball in a pinball machine where it kind of goes teet, 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 a plate, that game Playco, where it goes pop, 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 pop. You never know where it's going to go, right? And so it's going in those different directions. And then at what point does it land somewhere where you as the real estate agent get that lead?
Great question. So it's interesting to define what that lead might look like. Right? For most people, so a lead needs to be a name, email, phone number, right? It's kind of like the most typical standard that they've opted in, right? So in Facebook Messenger platform, if you're using, there's several types of actual places where you can create these bots. There's a company called Chat Fuel. It's free to create bots. Mini Chat.
Fuel. Okay. So guys, what he mentions, I'm gonna put on hibandigital.com/Travis Thom, and it's THOM. That's THOM. So if you're driving, don't worry about this. I'm gonna put what was that one you just mentioned?
Sure. There's Chat Fuel, and then Mini Chat, MANY Chat, Mini Chat.
MANY Chat. Okay, cool. All right. So you get these bots, you get these robots, and you get it all set up. The ball bounces, it lands. The buyer's a million times more qualified now that it's actually landed. Then what do you do?
Greg, so inside of Messenger, typically in these kind of conversations, the methodology and format that we've started to map out is that you first want to have some sort of reciprocity, right? You want to give them some sort of item of value at the top of the funnel to get them to come into Messenger, right? Some sort of gift that you're going to be giving them, some sort of list, whatever it might be. Now that they're having a conversation, you need to have this kind of part where you delight them. Engage in conversation, delight them, really get them to actually click on the buttons before you then pivot. So now that you've actually kind of established some qualifying questions, started the conversation, made it playful, then you pivot the conversation into, would you like to set up a free buyer's consultation? Would you like to, get your home value? So if it's for sellers, we have designed one that was focused on guess how much this house sold for, take the quiz, right? It's kind of a gamification play.
No kidding.
So,
wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Okay.
So they click on that, and it says, guess how much the home sold for? Is it $285,000, $925,000? Right, kind of gives three different options.
So wait a minute. So just to make sure everybody's crystal clear on this, that gamification quiz is on Facebook. You're paying money to advertise it to get in front of sellers, people in Austin, Texas, in a certain neighborhood or a certain zip code or whatever categories you want to do. You pay money for it. They click on it. Then it goes through the pinball machines. It lands to, this buyer is on a scale of 1 to 10, 7. This seller on a scale of 1 to 10 wants you to come out tomorrow, right? And then you just give the agent basically a lead as a layup, right? I mean, you're 85% of the way there.
Right, and there's three different ways or three different benefits to having a Facebook Messenger bot. Well, one of those conversations, you're trying to develop essentially, kind of where they are in terms of buying. So let's say for that home, just so how much did it sell for quiz, if they guess it right, then you say, hey, good news, you're up to speed on your real estate market updates. By any chance, do you own a home? Yes or no? Yes. Would you like to have a home valuation report, something personalized for just your personal residence? Or would you like to download a report, for the homes that have sold in the last 60 days? If they say yes, then you then send them off. They click a button and it's hyperlinked to, let's say, a separate landing page, or schedule an appointment with you for some sort of appointment scheduler. So there's all these different things you can introduce to it. But when we talk about what is the actual lead, well, inside of Chat Fuel, let's say if you're using that to design and build your Facebook bots, you have a list of everybody that's engaged with that Messenger bot. So let's say you have 300 people in there, you can run a broadcast Messenger to all of them. So you can say, let's say a month later to all the 200-300 of these people, just want to let you know we just listed this property, and then it'll populate. Right, it's like almost like a 99% open rate in Facebook Messenger. I mean, it's like text message, except you have their profiles of who these people are. You have their name and their information. The second great thing with it is then you can run ads in your Facebook Messenger to those people. So in those people's Messenger, you can run an ad specifically to them that shows up like an actual ad with a button or a video.
Attention real estate agents who want to win more listings. Want to discover the secrets of how to create wealth and freedom by embracing the listing life without the pain of getting rejected by sellers and losing listings to more experienced agents? If so, then join me on a very special free webinar event titled How to Beat Experienced and Egotistical Listing Agents Without Commission Cutting and Overpricing. On this training, you'll discover the answers every real estate agent needs to know to instantly win more listings, including the 6 most widely used scripts to get a seller to sign the listing paperwork, the 3 success hacks to combat an agent with a huge track record of success, and the 4 easiest statements that instantly get sellers to pay higher commissions. These 3 things and so much more. So if you're serious about wanting to win more listings without getting rejected by sellers and losing listings to more experienced agents, register now for this special event that will show you exactly how to create wealth and freedom by embracing the listing life. Register now at hibandigital.com/listing or by texting the word listing to 444-999. That's listing to 444-999. And make sure to stick around for the huge game-changing offer that you won't receive anywhere else. That's listing to 444-999 or online at hibandigital.com/listing. See you there. Okay, so just to keep this clear, guys. So basically, what Travis is saying is once you have bitten the cheese in the mousetrap, you have given him permission to send you messages for life. I mean, I don't know how to put this better, right? I mean,
right.
Before that, no one's allowed to just spam all their friends, right? Is that right or wrong?
Right.
Yeah, you can do like a couple at a time, right? You got to add them on.
You can be. I mean, it's probably not the best practice, right? Yeah.
It's very difficult to do now, right?
Right.
Yeah. But if you start collecting, these people aren't even friends, really, right? You don't even. Yeah, they're not even your friends on Facebook.
Right. It's a cold audience.
Yeah, it's a cold audience. So then all of a sudden you start collecting an email list or a Facebook Messenger list, and you can blanket email them as many messages as you want. And these are all people that are not your friends and not looking at your personal photos. They're just people you've caught in your web.
Right. And it works in a way that there's a conversation that goes on that builds this. Well, one, it's fun, right? You're engaging with this robot, so people keep clicking on it. What's going to happen next? And if you design it right, it really kind of almost a nice support feature. People get excited about it. They go, well, what else? If you're doing this just to talk to me, what else can you do for me as far as a seller or a buyer, right? You guys are up to speed in technology. This is fun. So from a lead generation perspective, it's unique. You look at the overall platform and who else is using it. Well, there's a company I think called Snap Travel. I think it's called Snap Travel. In the past year, they've sold over $1 million worth of air travel just through the Messenger bot, right?
Wow. Let me ask you a couple questions. So at what point does the agent, get in control of this? Because I can see a lot of agents listening to this thinking, I don't want people to think that I'm using artificial intelligence or to get mad after they find out that it hasn't been me that's been talking to them for the last month. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean? So at what point do they get involved?
Great question. Off the bat, most people really kind of understand that it's a bot. Either if they haven't engaged with it, then it becomes pretty clear and apparent because it has it's quick to respond and has then these buttons that you press. So it's almost strangely familiar format if you haven't experienced it before,
so
but it's a name.
So you're saying it's good that they know it's a robot because they're like, oh, this is cool. I'm talking to a robot. Is there that inner lining of don't think from that point of view, think from the point of view of they're going to think that it's cool?
Right, that's cool, but there's also this anonymity behind it, right? There's this, sometimes in sort of, being from sales, and selling homes and open house, right? There's this, you can tell when a buyer or seller walk in and they're guarded, right? They don't necessarily want to have a conversation with you just yet, But online, buyers and sellers, they hide behind Facebook, right? Or they hide behind the computer in a way. But if you have something that has this kind of pre-done bot robot, they feel like Messenger is this private environment where they can engage without really any pressure. They can answer questions without any pressure. That's the anonymity and excitement and kind of, oh, this is cool, this is interesting. I'm not being sold, but it's entertaining. It's almost like a game. It's kind of that gamification style of it. But at what point does agent get involved? Well, with these type of platforms, you'll get a notification on your phone that Janice from Delaware, let's say, is actually engaging with your messenger, and you can watch in real time them actually answer questions back and forth.
And who's doing this in a big way right now?
In the real estate world, it's fragmented. It's mostly agents that are starting to dabble with it, bigger teams that are starting to really leverage it. If you look at outside of real estate, there's lots of companies. Domino's Pizza, you can order a pizza from Facebook Messenger now from their bot. Airline companies, travel companies. It's pretty big. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of Facebook Messenger bots. But from the real estate perspective, it's just I think 6 months to a year from now, you're going to see some heavy hitters in the game, probably including IDX feeds inside of Facebook Messenger. So imagine searching for a property inside of Facebook Messenger.
How would that work?
You can fake it by having hyperlinks in certain questions and then hyperlinking it back to yours, or you can actually then do some heavy coding and programming.
Sam Monreal has over 200 agents that he sifts through leads for every day at his company Rockerbox. Dale Archdeacon coaches agents how to sift through leads on their team. Both are industry experts at incoming leads and outbound leads. Nobody is talking more about this subject than these two guys. They have given me the form that all their people, all their coaches, in Sam's case, all his sifters, use to qualify potential seller prospects and to turn them into listing appointments. I'm going to give this form to you for free, just as a benefit of being a listener of Real Estate Rockstars. To get a free copy of this form, text SCRIPT, that's SCRIPT, to 444-999. That's SCRIPT to 444-999. Okay, so take me 6 months, take me a year, take me 2 years down the road. What have you heard Facebook has in store for Facebook Messenger that real estate salespeople and other salespeople are going to be able to pay money for to make them more commissions, other than the strategy you've already said?
Certainly. Well, so being able to run ads to people inside of your messenger. So right now, Facebook is really pushing everyone to include Messenger in some way. And when I mean Messenger, the business Messenger, because we're talking about your business page Messenger, not your personal Messenger. So you can only run ads to people that have engaged with your Facebook.
Yeah, so like let's just say, I have a Pat Hyben page, right? And I've had 1,000 people like it, or I have a company page, Caldwell Banker, and 40,000 people have liked Caldwell Banker. Is Caldwell Banker going to be able to eventually send those 40,000 something in Facebook Messenger, providing they pay money to do it?
Oh, only if those people have engaged in a conversation on your business messenger.
So a like is not right now,
yeah.
A like doesn't count. But if you got it, so the key is right now, at least what Facebook is saying, you got to bring them over to Messenger, whether they know what you're doing or they don't know you're doing. At some point, you got to get them over to Messenger at least once.
Build your audience, essentially, is what Facebook is saying right now. And the cost to, for example, so I ran an ad to, I have several hundred people on my Messenger. I ran an ad to them. My ad cost $5. So it's still very effective. $5, reached pretty much every single one of them. My click-through rate was really high. It linked to a video. So, in terms of someone engaging with it later on, really think of it as an email list with a really high open rate that you can then serve them highly relevant ads, for real estate, and engage in conversations almost instantly. It's incredible to see when you put something out in Messenger to your Messenger audience, everyone that's in there, that you get ready for a wave of responses. Block out half an hour to an hour to be able to then respond to people and say, yes, the house is available. When would you like to set up a tour? So there's a lot that you can do, but Facebook is really positioning Messenger to a lot of amazing things, but the ad placement and then the bots, being able to create your own bot and schedule appointments from it, those kind of things. You can integrate email, you can integrate Zapier to do all these different things inside of your bot. So, you can really spend a lot of time building out something pretty amazing, but I would say, just make sure it's customer service friendly. It carries the voice and tone of your brand. It provides valuable information at the top of the funnel inside of Messenger. And then at some point, pivot, get them to schedule an appointment with Calendly, or schedule some sort of showing or consultation, or send them to a separate landing page to download some sort of guide, whatever it might be.
That's a brilliant thing. And this is how artificial intelligence, guys, is going to take over the whole real estate team, essentially, is what Travis just said, right? Calendly is a scheduling service where you go in, and I use it for my podcast. I've had close to 600 podcasts now. Matter of fact, Travis used it to schedule this interview with me. I use it for my whole life now, right? Nobody talks to me on the phone unless they booked a time with me, except for my family. And that's just how, the world is going to eventually roll, because artificial intelligence can book this for me without me having to go, hey, is Tuesday good? No, that's bad for me. How about Thursday? No, how about Friday? So anyway, so what you're saying is that's another form of artificial intelligence that could then even make it a listing appointment or meet me in front of the house, right? Everything's going to do, and then all the agent needs to do is show up at the house. So let's talk about the typical agent ad, which is the photo of a house for sale. So I get a new listing. I put a photo of the house. I say, great house. How do I take this ad with a photo of the house? Teach me how to take that and build my Facebook Messenger list, because obviously what you've said is the gold is going to be in how many people you get to subscribe to your Facebook Messenger list. Again, a lot of them might be able to be doing it not knowing that they're doing it, right? But how do I do that?
Great question. And yes, subscribers is a great term specifically for that. I would suggest that, so if let's say it's a just listed ad, just listed this property, and you want to start off with first creating your bot. It's the first thing you want to do. You want to go into ManyChat or Chat Fuel, connect your business page to that. And I would first think of the first welcome message that you're going to send out to them, which is once they click on that ad, you need to be promising in the ad that you're going to give them some information about that property. So check out this property, gain access to get instant access to all the photos, prices and more. Then in that ad, in that chatbot, then you're going to really set up the actual delivery system. So let's say you're sending them to a single property website, or you're just going to have all the information there. You want to present that in the most welcoming manner inside of there, have some sort of hyperlink that goes to a single property website, but put that in as the welcome message in the chatbot. Then I would challenge any agents listening to, if they have sales scripts and objections, to go ahead and use that almost as your content for the bot. Just use that as going, when you're on the phone with someone, those sales scripts that you have or whatever it might be for those specific buyers or sellers, and then just have a decision branch tree, right, that you kind of create off of that.
Right. Do you want to see it? Yes or no?
Right.
And then obviously, no, I don't want to see it. Okay. There are 7 other properties currently in that zip code, which would kind of be a guess, right? It'd be BS, but nonetheless, I know a lot of agents that use this as a script. There are 7 other properties very similar to that in that zip code. Would you be interested in knowing them about? Well, let's just say, forget the number 7. There are other properties in that zip code very similar to this. Curious about them? Yes, no. And then at some point, you just link them up into the MLS feed, right? And you're just like you would if they went direct to your website. But here, instead of paying money for Google AdWords and things like that to try to get people, and for Zillow and Trulia and stuff like that to try to get people to come to you, you're paying it to Facebook. And the benefit here, guys, is that No one else is doing it now on Facebook. Everybody's doing Google AdWords. Everybody's doing Zillow, trulyarealtor.com. So here's a landscape with very few agents, probably none in your market, maybe one, that you could jump on now and pretty much have an open field.
Right. And I would send them to your IDX page, have forced registration on there, make sure you have a Facebook pixel installed on that website so that you can then have some sort of retargeting campaign, right? That's then kicked off after that.
But you don't even need that. You don't even need a forced registration because you already got them on Facebook Messenger.
You can, yeah. It's kind of like a double opt-in to some degree. You do have them in Facebook Messenger, but if you wanted to set them up on some sort of, let's say, email drip or kick off some sort of retargeting ad to land on your website, then you could go that direction. I would choose about 3-4 different options inside of the bot, to do that. But then actually running an ad in Facebook, choose brand awareness, and so your Chat Fuel bot will give you a specific link, a URL to your chat bot. And when someone clicks on that, it's then going to send into Messenger directly to that bot and then engage and start the conversation, right? It's going to prompt it. So you'll take that hyperlink, you'll go to create a campaign in the ad manager, and then go to brand awareness as your objective. Click on that, and that will allow you, when it says website link, destination URL, place that link in there, and then create your ad as you normally would, and then it's going to drive traffic to your Facebook Messenger, your bot.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, someone had told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, there's a lot of rumors going on about what Facebook has in the plans, but that eventually they're going to charge a flat fee to be able to send all your friends an email at one time. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not yet.
On Facebook Messenger, yeah.
On Facebook Messenger. Well, Facebook Messenger is advancing pretty quickly. You can, in terms of sending an email out to everybody. Or,
Facebook Messenger message,
right.
Let's say, because nowadays, everybody has a million friends, right? For the most part. It used to be everyone was like, only had people that they've spent years of their life with, right? And now it's like, oh yeah, I shook his hand in the hallway at a convention, and next thing you know, I'm friends with him and his wife and his kids and everything else. So the ability to be able to send out messages to your quote unquote friend list,
right,
would be worth paying for, in my opinion. Hey, just listed this new house. Hey, just did this. Is anybody interested in this or whatever? And then bottom, just like you're explaining here.
Right. I think there would be some benefit from it. And that's the interesting thing with Facebook, right, is that it changes every day.
Yeah.
There's so many new changes coming out.
Yeah, well, it's going to be amazing what does happen. Well, Travis, this has been awesome. I'm going to put all of Travis's information on hibandigital.com/Travis Thom, hibandigital.com/Travis Thom, and it has an H in it, guys. It's THOM. And you have a special gift, right, Travis, that you're going to offer to give to all of our listeners?
I do. I have some Facebook ad that I've written for the Just Sold quiz bot. And that Just Sold Facebook Messenger quiz, basically, really to sum it up, is this house sold for, guess what the amount is. And then you guys can then create the Just Sold bot from it inside of Chat Fuel for free.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. And here's the thing, guys. You can target on Facebook neighborhoods, right? People that belong to certain neighborhoods, certain zip codes, certain whatever, demographics. There's tons of stuff you can do. So you could take, the latest sale, and it doesn't even have to be your listing, right? You just download, a picture of a house, the latest listing or sale in that neighborhood, and say, guess what this house sold for? Guess what the last house in the village of River Hill sold for? Guess what the last sale in Clifton Oaks sold for? You could just say record sale for a rancher in Clifton Oaks. Guess how much it sold for? And people are into that.
Yeah, well, quizzes are huge. Think back to 17 magazine and Cosmopolitan, right? All these different types of magazines that say, take this quiz, right, to find out if he loves you. Right?
Yeah. Do you want to go out with me? Yes. No.
Right.
Pick one box.
Yeah, and
we
so
go together.
and then exactly, and yeah, that's going to predetermine your future. So people love gamification. They love the ability to take a quiz, like what neighborhood should I live in? And that could even be its own Facebook Messenger kind of bot thing. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but the gamification.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let me stop you there. Let's think about that. What neighborhood fits my personality the most?
There you go.
There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And guys, you don't have to be a social psychologist to come up with this. I mean, think about all those stupid quizzes that are on there, and they're like, what cartoon character you almost like, and it comes out with some character that you don't resemble the slightest or act like or whatever. It's a big scam. So don't overthink this, right? You can pick 10 neighborhoods and sit there probably in 90 minutes and have the bot set up and the quiz set up so it's gamified, so it's gonna give them a certain neighborhood. Right. And you can pick the 10 best neighborhoods in town. So no matter what, they win a really good prize. Kind of like the carnival. No matter what, you win a stuffed animal.
And then that's where you pivot, right? And at the end of it, when they say, "Oh, you should live in X community," you say, "Well, then do you want to see all the homes for sale in X community?" Click, yes, right? And so yes, then it sends them to your IDX feed. You click no, it says, "Ah, shucks. Well, thanks for playing our game. Do you plan on buying in the near future?" Yes, no, right? And so you can just keep that whole process. My biggest tip I would give to people in creating a bot is every answer should have a question. So every answer should have a question. So when you deliver the answer, great, that's great choice. It's good to see that you love big backyards. Then the next thing is creating that decision branch tree, right, of having a question. How do you feel about pools, homes with pools? Yes, I love homes with pools. No, thanks, right? Each one of those then is a question and then an answer. Then it keeps delivering it until you segment it to the point where you pivot to say, now let's talk business, right? Wherever you're going to send them to, like, let's take a look at these homes or schedule the appointment, or would you like to go ahead and talk to one of our buyer specialists now? And you can have a hyperlink to someone's phone. And in today's mobile world, right, that click to call button is like the king, right, of getting people to actually pick up the phone and call you. So you can put in your phone number there. They just click call agent now, and then it goes directly to your phone. So it's so diverse to be able to create those things. But I would love to see someone create what neighborhood should I live in.
Yeah, no, that one's brilliant. I mean, I like the gamification of all of them, and it's definitely going to be easy to do. Wow. Okay, so this is fun stuff, buddy. So again, I'm going to put all Thomas's. If you want to reach out to him, you want to talk to his company about, putting together something for you in this realm, I'm going to put a link to his website and direct email, and you could give him a shout out and say, Thomas, thanks for giving us all the information, and let's talk.
Thank you, Pat. I really appreciate it.
All right, Travis, have a great day, buddy.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. Please subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you may be listening. If you haven't already, please give us a review. I don't care whether it's a 1-star review or a 5-star review. We eat feedback for breakfast, and we need your reviews. Also, the more reviews we get, the better our guests become. Thanks again for listening, and find me on social media simply by typing in my name. I'm Pat Hyben, and keep rocking.